Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today I'm going to be literally dusting off my ocean exploration base that has been sat gathering dust on my desk for about a month and a half, so I can finish it off and get it into the cabinet 20,000 bricks under the sea. Well, before we get started on the new stuff, I did just want to mention a couple of suggestions made by you, my wonderful subscribers, that I've implemented here. And the first one is just to raise these columns slightly higher and spread them slightly further apart, so we've got a much better view of the moon pool access on the bottom. And although it's still very cramped, it is a lot more clear now, so thanks very much for that suggestion. The second one is on all the submarines, which I've given a much longer sort of second arm to, and all grey now, just so they all look very similar and not so lopsided, so thanks very much for that. And then one that I did was basically do some sticker surgery. I mentioned this last time. That's the original sticker with a number 64 on there. And what I've done is chopped it around with a knife very carefully to give a 4 for this one on both sides. And this one, a 9 being the 6 upside down. So I think that looks really good, and you can't see the joins or anything like that from any distance. So it just gives them all that little bit of diversity. So yeah, that's really good. Oh, I don't need to give that one a bedoing because that one was one of mine. And don't worry, I give myself bedoings all the time. Anyway, the most important thing from last time was to give the results of the naming competition. And there were absolutely loads of fantastic suggestions for the names of these 3 subs. If you want to look at all of those, look at the comments section because they really are quite good. But an early winner, I think, was Claws, Saws and Jaws. Except, are these really claws? I'm not sure they are. And if they're claws, well, they're not jaws either. So somebody took it a little stage further, and I think they get the winner because it is bores, saws and jaws. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. So boring sort of mining device is bores, the disc cutter is saws, and the sort of, well, clampy jaws are jaws, which has an added benefit of obviously being the sort of shark name. So fantastic naming there. Well done for everyone who suggested something. Right. On to today, and well, the first thing I want to do is actually make space for these submarines, because at the moment it's all a bit congested at this lower level, and basically this is kind of spoiling on the floor above. So what I really need to do is expand this section and make it a lot more different from the other ones, kind of with its bays 1, 2, 3 that I think I'm going to even number. So that's where we're going to start today. Okay, well, having a submarine docking level that doesn't actually fit its submarines isn't a very good idea if you ask me. So I think we need to basically extend the height of this section so there's a lot more headroom. And I think actually I'm going to extend these kind of airlock pieces out 1 stud on each side. So, well, they're a bit further apart from each other as well. And while I'm at it, I'm going to fix the problem that is with having these pins in this piece, because they often get pulled out with the submarine in an unwanted way. So if I use 2 of these pieces joined together using these 3 long pins, then they can kind of be wedged in between them and never come off. And that'll be a really good solution, I think, to this problem, in that I can't do the similar thing that I did before on the other levels by having these 1x2 bricks with the pin permanently attached. So yeah, I think that looks quite good, but so it kind of blends in a bit more, I think I am just going to change these pieces for some inverted slopes at the bottom, so that kind of comes out like that, and then a slope to bring it back in at the top. Yeah, I think that'll look really good, so I'm going to do that on all 3, except I don't really want to have that situation on the front one, because I want to demonstrate that one of my submarines is kind of out and about at play, so to speak, or well, at work more likely. So basically I want to have one being replaced by a window, which is kind of what I think that it would look like for all 3 of them when they're not in use. It's kind of like the closed airlock position. So in other sections, I've made one of these to replace one of these. So it kind of looks the same, but has the window and maybe some sort of docking connections or something like that, because I want it to look very modular. So basically, I just need a 2 wide version of this. So that's very easy. There we go, a 2-wide version of that. So that's what I'm going to use as the central one. So basically we can have 2 submarines docked and one either being winched in on the crane or maybe have it just out somewhere else in the cabinet because it's big enough. And maybe we'll do that with 2 in due course, but hey ho, I think that looks really good. Right, so then we can add back our kind of facet bricks here for the 4 corners. And if you don't remember, on the back side there's this great big sort of service hatch as well, which might not be as realistic in the sense that you wouldn't want to open it because it would break the airlock, of course, and we'll have air pressure in here. But there we go. So that, I think, looks a bit better, and we've got them a bit further apart, like I say. So this should be able to sort of slide on here and kind of connect in there, if it will go in. There we go. Yeah, fantastic. So really, I want to get a couple more brick height sort of levels up here so it doesn't interfere with the floor above next. And I thought I'd try and bring in a bit of colour, and the contrast colour is red, so I kind of thought I'd bring in some facet bricks in red, but they don't exist. But then I thought these curved ones don't look too different, and just give it a little bit of texture, really. So I don't mind that at all. And then I'll add a grey layer of the same. So there we go, and that gives me kind of a gap on each quarter to put in, well, I think a little sign really. So what I really want to do here is put in this little construction, which is 2 modified plates and a tile in the red layer, and that's so we've got handle on the outside that kind of matches all of this. And a handle on the inside for divers who are, well, coming down from a different level or something like that. Oh, yeah, hold on. Don't need that on the back one. Ooh, it's all a bit fragile until it's got its roof on. There we go. That one can go in there. And I'll just have a normal sort of grill brick on the back. There we go. And then suspended from the bit above, which I've yet to add, I'm going to add a bracket piece with a jumper plate. And then a little number. So we've got a 1 for sub number 1, a 2 for the second bay, and 3 for bay 3. So I think that'll be really good. So basically I'm going to have that kind of like that. It's not connected yet until we've got the roof on. That like that over there, and then that over there. Wow, okay, so this is going to be really delicate to do. Do you know what? I think I might stop the video, get the roof on, and show you how it looks when I'm finished. All right, and there it is all together, held in quite firmly by the roof. So I think that looks great. So we've got 2 submarines docked. The third one, which is Jaws, can be out and about. And you can see exactly where obviously it would land with that nice window there. And the nice texture and interesting kind of numbering and so on each side of this new collar type section. So I think that looks really good. Do tell me what you think of that. So then we can kind of add on the 45-degree opposed section like that. And then we've still got a crane kind of above each of the submarines for sort of bringing it in and helping it out. And we could even sort of attach one onto, say, that one over there, so it looks like it's in use. Yeah, that looks good. And I still really like this sort of diagonal angle we've got these on. And do you know what? I think that gives us plenty of space now. It doesn't look too congested with the headroom kind of above here and below here not being absolutely touching. And these fit really well, of course, on here. So that's great. That's all of my problems solved there. Brilliant. So I think that section is now done. I do want to add this back on and do some work on it, but first I'm going to try another variation kind of on one of these sections where we've got the window here. I thought it might be useful somewhere else to kind of have a door, because I reckon each of these sections are kind of sealable, so each one of them could be an airlock in their own right. So yeah, let's do a big door next. All right, so for this door I'm going to be using this piece, which is usually used kind of as a car roof. But I've also seen it used as a door on a safe or a mining building or an underwater base, much like mine. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use dark blue plates for the kind of back of it. And this can be the handle with 2 1x2s making up the rest of that side. And then that part in dark blue is either impossible or practically impossible to get, so I'm going to use black for the two hinges. Not too much of a deviation, but another black, dark blue rather, in the middle there. So there we've got our kind of handle on our hinges, so it would open like that. And then just to make it look a little bit more in theme, I'm going to add one of those modified plates and kind of a steering wheel on there, just so it can be kind of clamped shut or opened from the outside. Yeah, so very simple build, but I think it looks really good. And then just to attach that to one of these normal pieces, I'm just going to add two of these kind of half pins that have got the studs on, and then I should be able to line up two of the anti-studs, these round ones down the center of this 2x6, to kind of put that on like that. Yeah, I like that. Looks really good, doesn't it? There's a tiny bit of Technic hole you can see from the original piece there, sort of showing through, but I think we can ignore that. Yeah, it looks really good actually. So I've got enough pieces to make two of these, so I'll put one on another end of the station, and that's what I'm going to do next, kind of take off more of these pieces and turn them into corridors to try and get this a lot more 3D, because at the moment the whole thing is a great big tower with kind of things coming off it, and what I want to do next is have it as a main tower, but then have quite long corridors going off to extend this base and make it look much bigger, and maybe like it goes off into the distance as well when it's in a cabinet. I don't know. So yeah, let's get into expanding next. But I do like that door. Tell me what you think. Right, so we finished the main tower of the ocean exploration base, but for this top level where we've added the door and got the octopus, I decided to take off a unit to add a window, and I've also liberated another unit from the main station, and I'm even going to pull this one off the back to give me 3 more bits to kind of expand in a different direction. So we'll have the main tower being the focal point of that main first undersea level of the 20,000 bricks under the sea cabinet, but then I want to go kind of back and to the side to suggest it goes off in, well, all sorts of different directions, and it will be from this top level, which will give it a really interesting shape, I think, and it will kind of straddle onto what will be a very tall brick built cliff with loads of plant life on it and all the rest of it, sort of rock face and so on. So basically I'm going to kind of spur backwards, so this is kind of back into the cabinet going this direction with one of those sections where I've just taken off kind of the dome and the lights and so on. And then because I had all these fans left over from the original donor set 60265, I've built well, another sort of corner piece. Now this one's got 2 windows and is slightly taller than the others for variation, and then that can give us kind of a 90-degree angle to start going kind of back parallel with ourselves. Then I'm going to use another one of these, so it's kind of like that, and then another tower, and this one's kind of like a T-junction I suppose, with 1 window on the back, but that's because I'm going to add my second door that we made on there. So we've got an airlock there. See if I find the anti-studs. There we go. And then I can add my final domed one right on the end of that. So that looks like a really horizontal base, but that will be all mounted at the very top of the tower of everything else. So it's going to be really quite complicated shape. Now it will need supporting from the underside by that cliff face, but I'm also going to kind of put in some of the structure like on the original with these sort of black columns with these rocket pieces on and so on to kind of support it from this side as well. So it's kind of be an amalgam of the two kind of systems. So right, I'm going to get on with finishing that support system underneath this element, and then, well, we can try and piece the 2 bits together, but it's going to be quite unstable at this stage. But yeah, then we can get on with building a cliff in a future video. Alright, so here is the support structure attached to the bottom of that in the same style as the other bit. I love it with the door here and all the domes, and the octopus still looks great. Ignore these rocks for now. These aren't rocks. This is going to be where the main column of the base is, with the submarines right down there. So this is all at the very top with these 3 fans, one at the back slightly higher. So yeah, I think this looks really good. So you'll see all of this on the top of that sea cliff. And it may be that some of them are longer than others. I'm kind of thinking that it will be sort of more of a slope, so maybe that one is actually touching the cliff on its bottom. Maybe this one is about this length, and maybe this one's a lot longer to kind of reach that uneven surface as it will be. But for now, on my desk, I definitely need them to all be level. So, sorry, Robin. Right, so one more thing I wanted to add before I piece all this together is basically a scene. And we've got a scene here with the octopus. We've got a scene somewhere else with loads of fish. But I thought what I could do here is make a scene on this part as well. And it's because I got this piece, which is one of the dome ends, but it's got this kind of graffiti on. Somebody's drawn a face with a purple marker, written "What Sub" and stuff like that. And this came with the Hidden Side set 70433, JB Submarine from 2020. And if I don't use this piece on this station, I guess I never will, because where else is it going to fit, right? So basically, I want to put that on there. But as an explanation as why it's graffitied, I thought I would add a worker from the inside who's maybe having an interaction with a diver. So basically I'm going to have her sort of sticking her head through this hatch and having a real good laugh. So that's the inside bit done. And then I'm going to take off this light, this 1x1 round tile, and replace it with one of these sort of ones with a stud on, and that just gives me something to attach somebody on the outside with, because otherwise they're really not going to hang on very well. So let's see how close I can get this with this closed. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. So we can see her laughing face. Then basically I can get the roof back on to enclose that bit, and then have a diver on the outside with a grin on his face and a great big purple marker. And basically I thought I could attach him on there so it almost looks like you don't know how he's attached, and basically we'll position him so he looks like he's drawing on the outside and having a really good laugh. So there we go, there's that scene. I think you can see that even with the reflections, but I thought that was quite good fun, and it just adds something else to sort of notice while you're watching this when you're standing on the outside of the cabinet looking inside at all the details. It's good to have some interaction with people from the inside with people on the outside. Yeah, so I love that. Right, so now I've got the really unenviable task of trying to kind of stack this on top of the whole other section and then kind of hold it up with temporary rocks like this, all the while with it probably going to fall down, and then I've got to transfer the whole wobbly mass into my cabinet. So yeah, here goes. Wish me luck. Ho 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 ho! That's it all together, and wow, that is mighty impressive if you ask me. Wow, just bits going off in all sorts of different directions and scenes and colours. Oh, just looks absolutely fantastic if you ask me. So much going on to attract the eye. I was going to give you a full 360 tour by spinning it on the desk, but there's no chance that's going to happen because it's very delicately balanced on two burp kind of towers, one in there and one in there, that are acting as a temporary sea cliff replacement service. And I've got a couple more just temporarily holding up this roving sub, which is Jaws, of course. But yeah, there is so much going on here, and the scale of it, I think, is absolutely appropriate for a cabinet of the size of 40,000 bricks, 20,000 bricks, I'm getting ahead of myself there, 20,000 bricks under the sea. Wow. Yeah, and I think everything we've done today has really made a great deal of difference. It was looking a bit sort of basic before, and now it looks super advanced, if you ask me. So a quick summary of what's going on. We've got the moon pool access from underneath, so divers can directly dip into the depths. And then we've got all this lovely red pipework around the 3 numbered launch bays for our submarines. What was it? Bores, Jaws and Saws. That's right. Well done again if you were the one who suggested that. And the numbered bays look really good with that red band around the collar. I like that. We've got a fish scene, our working area at that 45-degree angle. Then going up again, we've got our graffiti sort of laughing scene for all of the sleeping areas. And we've got that lovely new door and windows all around. And those robot arms, of course, one for each of the submarines. Then we've got another fan section, loads of corridors for our horizontal sort of section that goes on top of the sea cliff. Another door, 3rd fan, and our octopus, of course, with more piping for good measure. Wow. Well, already I think that looks great. Imagine how wonderful it'll look in the cabinet and how wonderful it'll look when the sea cliff is done and covered in sea life and all sorts of different colours and all those pieces we've been collecting. It'll be absolutely amazing. But wow, this has come on a lot today, hasn't it? It's a whole different station. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. But do tell me what you think. Wow, look at that. It is in the 20,000 bricks under the sea cabinet. And wow, it is really filling that side, isn't it? It's even sticking out over the edge of the glass there at the front. That's easily fixed. But wow, it is big. Now, it might well be that it's not quite as tucked into that corner as it currently is when it's done. The Silent Mary is sat on this shelf mainly because all the shelves below are full of cardboard boxes full of pieces that I'm collecting for things like my double modular build. So yeah, that will be on the floor below in due course. So maybe this will get a bit more centralized, but I did want it to marry up with the backdrop to a degree. So this incredibly long sort of rock on the back is supposed to blend into the brick built one that I've been describing today. So it is sort of in the right place, which gives us a lot of room for scenes and so on. And I don't want to block the original shipwreck that's in the backdrop either in the distance in all the murk. So yeah, we want to keep that very visible. So yeah, this cabinet is already coming on, isn't it? We've got a great big thing for level 3 in the Silent Mary. We've got a great big thing for level 2, our finished ocean exploration base. And we've already got all these surface vessels with their various 3D effects, of course. And I will be trying to incorporate more 3D effects between levels, in between levels, 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and so on. But yeah, that is looking pretty good if you ask me. Yeah. It'd be great when we've started filling in all the detail, of course, and started building all of the plant life and all the rest of it. But, you've got to kind of get the really big pieces built so you know how big they are and what it's going to all look like when it's all comes together, because otherwise you don't really know what you're trying to achieve. But, well, we can definitely get started on that now. I just love the red sort of details that are sort of glimpsing or glaring out of the otherwise yellow and grey sort of backdrop. Even this diver is just really popping, and that scene is very upfront and very visible, so I like that a great deal. Wow, yes, so what do you think of that? You'll have to let me know, but I am very impressed. Yeah, I think it came out better than I thought it would, actually. Wow, I'm really glad I did this today. Fantastic. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, it'll be a Wednesday, so we'll be doing a brick haul. And I think I'll be getting the final pieces for the last of my episodes on the new express train, where I'll be completely redoing the engine and the cab car as well, because they just aren't right at the moment, are they, at the front? So on Friday, maybe we'll be doing that actual build. I'm not sure, maybe Monday. I'll have to clean the pieces and so on. But otherwise, we'll do a mock build as usual. So until all of that, see you! Nice.